Hi, I'm Enrico Donatelli. I'm a front wing mechanic for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan, and today we're going to be going over the different iterations of setups for ovals, super speedways, and road courses. All right, so heading into St. Louis, the following race, we're going to be talking first about here a short oval setup and the differences between the main road course setup for wings. And if you can see, the biggest difference realistically is that whereas on a road course setup we have two flaps, an upper and a lower here, for the short ovals we go ahead and we remove the upper flap and just run with a single flap. The main difference between these two is just the amount of downforce that you get whenever you're running a road course versus a short oval, and removing that upper flap kind of takes a little bit of that away. That being said, that also changes some of the setup techniques that we have, including what we can do with aero package wise. Whereas with the road course wing, we can actually put a wicker up on top here for the top flap. We don't have that option for the short oval. However, we can still run, say, a main plane extension as part of our setup, and depending on what we're going for, we may or may not, and that just goes on the inboard of the wing, just as it would on a road course. As far as everything else, you can still see that setup is the same whenever it comes to taping, whenever it comes to our adjusters. We still have the same settings, being able to adjust how much or how little angle we want in the flap, and per what we want to do with the car and how the car feels for the drivers, we'll adjust that accordingly. As far as super speedway goes, the main difference is seen both in the end fences, which are much smaller and produce less downforce, and then also the width of the main plane. These are both much thinner in regards to width-wise, and also the thickness of the wing itself. And with this, this is to adjust for even less downforce when it comes on the car, because you're not cornering at high speeds, whereas you're taking much longer, much wider turns, especially in something like Texas or the Indy 500, which is a considerably wider turn than you would see on any road course. However, on these, we still can run the main plane extension. We would have the same nose box. However, these are much shallower and much longer, and that's that, along with other wicker options that we can run on the main plane itself or on the extension. Those are the main aero package differences. During tech for the wing, IndyCar will have a similar but slightly different setup whenever it comes to the main plane, where they have a rig that they place on the main plane on both sides, right and left, and they use an angulometer to check that everything that we do is going to be within tech regulations. And then the same thing goes with the super speedway wings. However, instead of measuring the main plane angle, they measure from the bottom and tops of the end fences. And that's how we know that we're within the rules, and within those confinements we can play around and see what the drivers want, what they like, what responds better, and depending on what setup we want to go with, we'll adjust accordingly. Thanks for watching this episode of Tech Tuesday. I'm Enrico, front wing mechanic for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan, and we'll see you next time.